In today's video, we check out the history of the PRS McCarty 594 family. So let's get started. Welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury shred machines here in Nottingham, England. My name is Ben Keightley, I'm your presenter today, and today I'm going to be taking you through the history of the PRS McCarty 594 family. Arguably, this is one of the PRS's most famous guitars, and it's definitely earned them a place in guitar building royalty. But the story starts back in 1950, so let's go back in time. The journey begins with Paul Reed Smith's fascination with the golden era of guitar building. Consider this era of guitar building was obviously the 50s and 60s, when Gibson and Fender were bringing out the most iconic guitars that they've arguably ever made and are still relevant in today's society. During this time, a man by the name of Ted McCarty was a pioneer of the electric guitar and the musical instrument industry. He served as vice president for the Gibson Guitar Corporation in 1949. McCarty was responsible for a number of patents and innovations, including the humbucking pickup, Explorer, Flying V, SG, and Firebird, to name a few. In 1980s, a young man called Paul Reed Smith was conducting extensive research on the electric guitar, and he continued to notice McCarty's name among patents. He was urged by a friend to reach out to Ted McCarty and interview him. After this meeting, Ted McCarty would come on to be a good and dear friend to Paul Reed Smith as well as the company PRS. Throughout the late 80s and 90s, Paul called on Ted to consult with him on various guitar designs and production techniques, and in 1994 a new guitar was introduced, the McCarty. This guitar became Paul's tribute to Ted and a tangible way to pay homage to Ted's legacy of innovation. The McCarty model incorporated the full spectrum of techniques and knowledge Paul had gained from Ted, as well as his own experience as a guitar builder. PRS's goal with the McCarty 594 was to create a vintage sounding instrument with the perks of modern day manufacturing and the reliability that brings to the building process. So this is what a modern McCarty 594 looks like. You can see. It has a gorgeous flame maple top, and most importantly takes lots of inspiration from the Gibson Les Paul. You can see where the three-way toggle switch is positioned, right where a Les Paul switch would be. Obviously, we also have some Les Paul DNA with the stop tailpiece and bridge, but this is a highly upgraded version, a lot bigger with brass saddles, as well as some nice brass accents on the tailpiece, adding a little bit more of a design element to this guitar. The other inspirations is obviously the 2-volume and 2 tones, which isn't featured on any other PRS model, but the bonuses of PRS is that we have coil splitting of these pickups. Just like the original McCarty that PRS designed, they have the 5815 LT humbuckers, which are based off that kind of PAF sound and that golden era tone from the Gibson Les Pauls. Obviously, the construction is very similar as well. We have a flamed maple cap, and then we have a mahogany back and mahogany neck. The profile, to my feel anyway, is kind of like a thinner version of a 59. It's kind of very rounded, very pronounced, obviously more of the thicker end for a PRS, but I wouldn't say it's a true 59. It's more of like a, kind of a little bit like it's between like a 60s and a 59 type profile. We also have a stunning rosewood fingerboard on this. In this case, we have some lovely mother of pearl birds, and we have the headstock cap here, which is in that rosewood format. Obviously, this back of the guitar is all finished in black, so you can't see the mahogany wood grain, but obviously on some models you can. This has the beautiful kind of charcoal burst. This guitar's name basically derives from obviously Ted McCarty, but 594 comes from the scale length. So this guitar has a 24.594 inch scale length. And this is just slightly longer than the previous mentioned vintage guitars, which will give the guitar a little bit more snap and better tuning stability. This guitar also has the phase-free vintage style tuners, so these aren't locking, and they also use the ivory buttons, which I really like from PRS. But it's overall just a beautiful guitar. Obviously this is the double cut version, and they do make a single cut, which we'll get onto now. So in 2017 they brought out this. This is the single cut McCarty 594, taking a lot more inspiration from the Les Paul, as you can see by the body shape. This guitar already is a lot heavier than the double cut, as you'd expect. Obviously, in terms of specs, we're pretty much talking around the same thing. So we have two 5815 LT humbuckers, same bridge, same electronics. Obviously this has a really nice kind of tobacco burst. There's not too much going on in this top, it's very traditional. But the neck profile is that pattern again. We have the phase-free locking tuners, which have got the cogs exposed. We've got a really nice kind of single cut body, but the neck is still sculpted, so it's still very easy to get to the top there, and still got all the coil split. In 2019 they brought out this stunning guitar, which is the McCarty 594 semi-hollow. As you can see, this is in a beautiful blue finish, which is actually matched with the neck. This is a wood library example, so we do have a flamed maple neck on here, rosewood fingerboard, flamed maple top, and an exposed mahogany back. But still, the specs are very similar other than the construction, so we have a set of the 5815 LT pickups, volumes, 2 tones, coil splitting abilities, three-way switch. In my opinion, McCarty series is the best series that PRS have made. It combines vintage and new. The modern capabilities of PRS with their beautiful design elements and modern hardware mixed with that vintage feeling guitar, thick neck, solid tuning stability. In my opinion, it's the best that PRS do. So now I guess it's time to compare the tones of these three guitars. Obviously they all have the same pickups, but we can note how different they sound from their body constructions and the materials used. Let's see. So here are my final thoughts on these three guitars. My personal favourite was the hollow body blue PRS that we got in. This guitar just had an amazing intonation and sound all around. Surprisingly, these guitars do sound quite different. In the tone test, I thought that the single cut was the brightest, and the hollow body obviously had a lot more bass than the rest of them. This goes to show that the construction of a guitar is equally as important as the pickup choice and the woods used, and whether it's hollow or not. But most importantly, what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below which guitar was your favourite, and I hope you've enjoyed today's history lesson on the McCarty family of guitars by PRS. Well, thank you so much for watching another Squealing Pig Guitars video, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep rocking, guys. See you soon.